Hey everyone, Decav13 here, and welcome back to some more Let's Play Fate Stay Night. Alright, it's time for us to get started on the final path we have to do, Heaven's Feel, so... oh, hold on. Something got in my room that shouldn't be here. Hey, little guy, get up. Sorry, one of my cats got in the room, I didn't realize he was in here. Alright, so, anyway, let's start up a new game, one more time. And we are going to make our way through the first couple days, as usual. So, let's go help Sakura, because first couple days gotta make a bunch of Sakura-related choices. So, we'll start with that. Right, I need to help Sakura. What the fuck just happened? I didn't even click on anything, the game just fucking minimized. That was weird. Okay. Right, I need to help Sakura. Making someone younger than me do all the work would be embarrassing, and I feel bad for Sakura coming here so early in the morning. But I'm too late. Breakfast looks to be done already. The appetizing scent of breakfast Sakura cooked wafts toward me from the kitchen. Sakura finished cooking and she's searching for the cupboards for dishes.
面目ない。せめて食器の用意ぐらいはやるから、さくらは座っててくれ。
もう来ちゃったんですか、先輩。
もうじゃないぞ。6時10分って言ったら朝飯を食ってる時間じゃないか。完全に寝坊だよ。
そんなことはないと思いますよ。先輩は部活をしていないんですから、この時間は十分に早起きです。
部活は関係ない。それを言ったら朝練があるさくらがうちに来てくれるのも問題じゃないか。
いえ、私は好きでしていることですから、部活のことは気にしないでください。
ああ、それは何度も聞いた。だから俺も部活に関係なく早起きしてるんだ。さくらが来てくれるならその時間には起きてないと失礼だろ。
To me, waking up early is waking up before Sakura gets here, and oversleeping means I make Sakura prepare breakfast on her own like today. Though this arrangement started only about a year and a half ago.
ともかくさくらは休んでろよ。あとは並べるだけなんだから、それぐらい俺にやらせてくれ。
Forgive me if my voice is a little weird, I kinda just woke up. Just wanted to dive into this as soon as I could. I stand next to Sakura and pull out the dishes. Sakura has a surprisingly stubborn side, so she won't really rest until she won't rest unless I really push.
なら、私もお手伝いします。お皿には私が盛りますから、先輩はお茶碗を出してください。
いや、だから全部こっちでやるからいいってば。
いけません。先輩はお家の主人なんですから、朝くらいはドーンと構えていてください。
ドーンと構えろって。さくら一人に働かせてのんびりしている主人なんて家主失格だぞ。いいからさくらは今に行ってろって。
はい、ぜひ失格してください。これいつも美味しいご飯を食べさせてもらっているお返しなんです。だからできれば先輩にはゆっくりしていてほしいです。
食費だったら折半なんだからさくらが気にすることじゃない。感謝なんて言ったら俺がしたいぐらいだ。さく
やっぱり先輩分かってなかったんですね。
そういうことじゃないってどういうことだ。
いえ、何でもありませんけど責任取ってくださいね。私先輩の家じゃないとご飯を美味しくいただけなくなっちゃったんですから。
バカ、おかしなこと言うな。藤姉に聞かれたらどうするんだ。あの人には冗談なんて通じないんだから。
そうですね。藤村先生に聞かれたら大変です。
まったくだ。あんまりおかしなこと言うな。
はい、言いません。言いませんからお手伝いしていいですよね、先輩。
Sakura looks me in the eyes so naturally and calmly.
いいよ、好きにしろ。そんなにやりたきゃさくらに任せる。
はい、好きにします、私。
まったく、本当に最近言うこと聞かなくなったよな、さくら。
ですね。藤村先生に似てきたのかもしれません。
She responds softly as she reaches towards the cupboard. Her dark hair gently falls over her shoulder, and the curves of her body catch my eye. I can't explain it, but it's awkward. I'm not sure if it's our age, but Sakura's been looking more feminine lately. Her casual movements or her profile are so pretty, and I inadvertently avert my eyes.
先輩、どうかしましたか？
いや、どうもしてない。どうもしてないから気にしないでくれ。
Honestly, it's baffling. Why the hell am I getting nervous around my friend's younger sister? Sakura's just a really good and considerate younger friend of mine, and she's someone I need to look after. She's the younger sister of a friend of mine. We used to be friendly, though initially we weren't very close since she's a grade below me. It was only a year and a half ago that our relationship became more what it is now. Sakura started to come and cook meals for me when I got hurt, and things kind of stayed like that. I think this arrangement was supposed to last until I got better, but I guess something or other happened and somehow she ended up helping out with household chores. Either way, Sakura's a good cook, and her cleaning and laundry skills are perfect. Having her come early in the morning is a big help, but it's been disconcerting, really. Recently. Sakura isn't the problem, it's me. I'm sure being flustered by my friend's sister is part of the reason I feel guilty. Usually I'm unfazed, but when I blush because I get caught off guard like now, I wonder whether that's problematic as her senpai. Okay, so we can skip that. We can skip that. Next one is choice, so I'll just pick the one that lets me skip. We'll skip. We'll skip. Then we will walk Sakura home. We've seen this one already too, so... Oh. Interesting, now let me skip that one. I haven't thanked Sakura for cooking today's dinner yet, so I should talk to Sakura.
そうだな。夜も遅いし、家まで送って行ってやらないと。
Sakura just finished cleaning up, and she's in the living room getting ready to go home.
あれ、先輩、お風呂に入ってたんじゃないんですか？
いや、風呂は後回し。さくらを送ってから入る。
送るって私をですか？
ああ、最近物騒だから家まで送る。さくらんち結構遠いだろ。わざわざ来てもらってるんだから、それぐらいはさせてくれ。
Sakura purses her lips awkwardly. Did I say something wrong?
ごめんなさい。気持ちは嬉しいんですけど、先輩を休んでいてください。家までだったら慣れてますし、一人でも大丈夫ですから。
いや、それはそうだろうけど、今日は特別だ。しばらくは家まで送っていくよ。
でも兄さんに見つかると先輩にまで迷惑がかかります。
No matter what Shinji might say, letting Sakura go home alone during these dangerous times would be much worse.
俺にかかる迷惑なんていい。ともかく最近は物騒なんだから送ってく。
でもやっぱり先輩に悪いですから。
悪くない。日頃世話になってるんだから送るぐらいさせてくれ。それとも一人で帰りたいのか、さくらは。
いえ、そういうことではなくてですね。
ならいいだろう。これでも腕には自信があるんだ。大抵の防寒は返り討ちにできるから、こんな時ぐらいは使ってやってくれ。なんか出てきてもちゃんとさくらを守るから。
I nudged Sakura towards the hallway with a glance.
先輩、本当にいいんですか？また兄さんと喧嘩しちゃうかもしれませんよ。
構わないよ。 男同士で喧嘩しない方が変だし、シンジとはそれぐらい素直に言い合った方がいいんだ。あいつああ見えて隠し事とか嫌いだから、文句があるならすっぱりと言い合った方がすっきりする。
When I say that, Sakura looks surprised for some reason.
どうした？なんか変なこと言ったか俺。
言ってませんよ。先輩が兄さんと仲良くしてくれるのが嬉しいだけです。
いや、仲良くってのは難しいぞ。すっきりするのは俺だけで、シンジは逆かもしれないし。
そうですね。けど兄さん、何度喧嘩しても先輩に話しかけるでしょ。兄さん、きっと先輩が苦手なんです。けど他の人よりずっと好きだから、いつも先輩を気にしてるんですよ。素直じゃない人だから嫌いな人が好きなんです、兄さん。
それは返答に困る意見だな。
はい、先輩が羨ましかったから少しだけ困らせてみました。
Sakura smiles gently. Seeing her smile makes my breath catch in my throat. It's like she's beaming. I think this is the first time I've seen Sakura smile like that.
とにかく送っていくからな。シンジに見つかったら見つかったでいい。妹を送り届けたんだから、あいつだって文句は言わないだろう。
そうですね。隠すよりはそうした方がいいかもしれません。それじゃあお言葉に甘えていいですか、先輩。
So yeah, then this is pretty different from the last times, because she's actually accepting the offer.
はいよ、たまには先輩らしいとこを見せてやれ。
I pound my chest to demonstrate my determination. Sakura nods with a smile when she sees my conviction. We walk downhill and reach the intersection. There's no one else around, and the familiar residential area feels oddly desolate. It's only a little before 10 o'clock, but the entire town is sleeping. The silence feels unnatural. It may have to do with all the recent incidents, but it's hard to believe the town could lose so much spirit just because it's dark out.
先輩、私の家こっちですけど。
悪い、ちょっとぼーっとしてた。さくらの家はあっち側の一番上だもんな。
いえ、一番上にあるのは遠坂先輩のお家ですよ。麻藤の家も高いところにありますけど、一番上じゃないんです。
あれ、そうだったか。遠坂ってあの遠坂？
はい、2年生の遠坂凛さんです。先輩、苦手なんですか？
Sakura speaks as if she read my mind. Was it really so obvious?
いや、苦手ってわけじゃない。話したこともないし、よく知らない相手だ。ただ、有名な優等生だろあいつ。どこにいても目立つから人並みに知ってるだけ。そういうさくらは同じ洋館だし、もしかして近所付き合いとかあるのか？
ないですよ。確かに近所ではありますけど、遠坂先輩のお家は坂の上ですから。けど遠坂先輩のお家が洋館だって知ってるんですね、先輩。
Sakura asks in a slightly muffled tone.
ああ、ちょっと小耳に挟んだんだ。遠坂のところは幽霊屋敷だとかなんとか。幽霊屋敷って言ったら洋館と相場が決まってるだろ。
そうですね。遠坂先輩は一人が好きみたいですから。私も子供の頃、坂の上には怖い魔法使いが住んでるって言われてました。
へえ、怖い魔法使いか。俺もそんな風な噂は聞いたな。まあそれ言ったらあっちの家はみんな魔法使いが住んでいそうだけど。で、さくらは信じたのか、その話？
信じました。だって子供だったんです。だから坂の上には行っちゃいけないっていつも思ってました。
Sakura's response is entirely serious. I was only asking half jokingly, but her response seems to have been in earnest. We walk up the hill. The residential area here may be on the opposite side of town from where I live, but its layout is similar. The higher you go up the hill, the fewer buildings there are, and the denser the thickets of trees grow. Most of the town is at the bottom of the hill, so it's only natural to have less and less homes as you go uphill. And one of the few buildings near the top of the hill is Sakura's house, the Mato residence. Sakura suddenly stops.
なんだ忘れ物か
いえ、忘れ物じゃないんですけど、先輩、うちの近くに誰かいませんか？
Sakura peers ahead, looking concerned. I look around, but there's nobody except the two of us.
別に誰もいないけど、なんかあったのか？
いえ、いないならいいんです。なんか最近家の近くで見慣れない人をよく見かけるから今日もいるのかなって。
なんだそれ。なんか危なくないかそいつ。どんなやつなんだよ。
金髪のかっこいい人でした。モデルさんみたいだから先輩も見たらびっくりすると思います。
So Gil. Why is he hanging around the Mato house? Sakura blushes as she describes him, almost as if she's embarrassed. Sakura. I wonder if this is something I should be concerned about.
なんだ不審なやつってわけじゃないんだ。
わかりません。ただ最近は引っ越してきた人なんていないからおかしいなって。
まあとにかく怪しいって言えば怪しいよな。よし、もしまた家のあたりをうろついてるようだったら俺かシンジに言ってくれ。捕まえて何してるのか白状させるから。
はい、頼りにしてます。けど手荒なことはしないでくださいね。私先輩に喧嘩されると困ります。
Sakura smiles as she says that.
大丈夫だよ。ちゃんと話し合いから始めるから。さくらが心配することない。
It's not gonna immediately be a fight. I avert my gaze from Sakura's smile, realizing what I'm saying sounds pretty lame. This is bad. I've been finding myself captivated by everything Sakura does lately. I thought nothing of it a while back, but now I even think there's something wrong with me lately. Maybe it's that Sakura's matured, or maybe it's just that I've gotten more aware of her. I really do think she's become very beautiful. And that's good, but I don't think it's a good look if I just keep awkwardly looking away from her all the time.
それじゃあおやすみなさい先輩。送ってもらえて嬉しかったです。
バカ、礼なんて言うな。晩飯作ってもらってるんだからお礼を言うのはこっちの方だ。
Sakura smiles, looking pleased.
たく、こんなんでいいんなら明日から日課にするからな。
はい、先輩の気が向いた時たまにでいいですから送ってください。兄さんに怒られるけど私はやっぱり先輩と一緒がいいです。先輩、また明日ですね。今日はありがとうございました。
Sakura shouts those final words at me, full of energy, and disappears inside the Mato Manor.
さて、
Guess I should get home too. I left Fujine at the house, and that's frankly worrying.
あれ
Did I hear something? I did. What the fuck was that? I hear it. The sound of a swing creaking. It takes me a while to realize the sound is actually a bug chirping.
どんな虫かな。何にせよ季節外れもいいところだ。
I imagine a longhorn beetle hiding in the dark under the crisp winter sky. Huh.
あれ
I see
明か
three.
りが3つある。
The light that just turned on is Sakura's room. The light in the first floor is Shinji's room, which means I wonder whose room is the third one.
シンジんとこはさくらとシンジしかいないはずだけど。
Maybe they have a guest. Or maybe Shinji's in that other room. Either way, I've been in the Mato mansion numerous times, but it's the first time I've ever seen the lights on in that room. Well, it's a big house. It's not really all that strange for the lights to be on in any particular room. It shouldn't be strange, yet.
なんだろう。なんか胸がざわつくな。
It's like a premonition, or some kind of negative presence. A strangely unseasonable sound echoes across the otherwise silent, frosty night sky. If ever there was such a thing as a gut feeling, whatever is lurking inside me trying to warn me about something feels ominous, like the three worms from Taoist belief. Okay, we can skip that, and we'll save a new file. Alright, day 2 actually looks a bit different with choices. Day 3 looks like it's exactly the same, so... Oh, I guess day 2 is completely different then, huh? I awake to darkness. I guess I'm not much for dreaming. Unless something big happens, I always have the same dream anyway. I always envision a sword. I have no idea why, but that's the only thing that pops into my head. There's no rhyme or reason to it. Perhaps this is what defines me as, well, me. Shiramiya. I don't have dreams of my own. The only things on my mind while I sleep are what others taught me long ago. For example, on how to be a mage. Even if I'm not a full-fledged mage, it's only natural for a mage to be aware of the world they're in. Put simply, a mage is an irregular, an outcast from society. But even outcasts need to band together to survive. My old man told me there's a society of mages called a Mages Association. He also told me I shouldn't ever get involved with them. The Mages Association is said to conceal the existence of magecraft and manage mages. The Mages Association watches over mages and makes sure their magecraft doesn't affect society. But the strange thing is that they don't really prohibit mages from abusing magecraft either. According to Kiritsugu, the Mages Association is only interested in concealing mystics. Even if, say, a mage carried out an experiment that sacrificed, let's say, a lot of citizens, the association wouldn't punish them. Their priorities are expressly in preventing the public from becoming aware of magecraft, which does not mean magecraft is completely banned. Honestly, anything goes as long as the truth doesn't come out. At least that seems how that insane bunch conducts themselves. Whatever it is, the Mages Association's surveillance is absolute. Typical magecraft research sacrifices the lives of ordinary humans, which in turn risks revealing the existence of magecraft to the world. As such, the Mages Association doesn't permit research that would harm society. Ultimately, mages conduct their research in the privacy of their homes, while the world is none the wiser. So mages sometimes go into hiding to escape the association's scrutiny and oversight. So there may be some mages living in this town, and I just don't know about it. I also hear Fuyuki is a spiritual hotspot of sorts. That probably means there's some prestigious mage with a storied history living here. They're called second owners, elite mages the association entrusts to watch over territory. Other mages who live in the same area must visit these second owners first to get permission to build their workshops. My old man was an outlaw who cut ties with the association and moved here without the consent of Fuyuki's second owner. So in a way, our family is a bunch of trespassers living in a house without permission from the landlord. Which means the second owner doesn't know that Kiritsugu Emiya was a mage. So I tend to feel like our family's status as mages is kind of unclear. But then my old man, the bona fide mage, died. And even though I'm his disciple and son, I don't know a thing about the Mages Association, and have no real knowledge about being a mage. I have a feeling that the association will want to dispose of someone like me, but they haven't made any sort of move. Apparently the Mages Association doesn't have many eyes in Japan, so that's probably why I haven't been found yet. But that doesn't mean I can let my guard down. The eyes of the Mages Association are said to be everywhere, and if someone commits a crime using magecraft, the church's heretic hunters will make their move. Using magecraft, however half-assed you may be about it, makes you enemies. So with all that in mind, I honestly just want to study being a mage on my own. I wake up as the sunlight starts to pour in through the window. Looks like the sun's just now coming up. It's still dark out.
寒い。さすがに朝は辛いな。
I get up, trying not to let the morning cold discourage me, and quickly fold up my futon. It's 5:30. I've always been an early riser no matter how late I go to bed. I might mess up once in a while like yesterday, but that's rare.
それじゃ朝飯って。
I let Sakura do all the work yesterday, so it would look kind of bad if I didn't return the favor this morning. I should hurry up and finish making breakfast before Sakura comes. I cook rice and make miso soup. Yesterday the soup had daikon radish and carrots, so I'm making onion and potato miso soup today. I make the egg omelet and use the leftover konnyaku to simmer it with bonito flakes. I make incisions into the sari fish, which will be the main dish, and sprinkle it with a little salt. All I have to do is broil it, but that can wait until the last minute.
よし、こんなんでいいか。
It's almost 6. I finished earlier than I expected, so I have some time on my hands. Sakura's coming, so I should add another dish.
そうだな。時間もあるし、箸休めになんか作っとこう。
I open the fridge. Looks like it's just cucumbers and potatoes.
キュウリをスティック状に切って塩漬けにしてもいいし、じゃがいもを千切りにして酢の物にしてもいいんだけど。
Each only takes a few minutes, and they're both better if they're fresh. It'll be another 30 minutes before Fujine and Sakura show up. I might as well make the dishes right before I serve breakfast. I really don't know what to do with the extra time. What can I make in 30 minutes?
夕飯用に鶏のささみがあったから、
Maybe I'll wrap the meat and vegetables into bite-sized pieces and saute them. Or maybe I can fillet the chicken and flatten it with a meat tenderizer. The tenderizer is such a wicked-looking thing. It's a hammer with square sides, and the hammering surface is covered in spikes. If it were any bigger, it'd work pretty well as a torture device. Using this frightening tool, I flatten the chicken, wrap it in carrots and green beans, and cook it in a frying pan, then add some sake to steam it up.
ちょっと待て。何してんだ俺。
I come to my senses after I reach this step. I was supposed to make a simple small dish, since the sari fish that's supposed to be the main dish is still waiting to be broiled. But now I've prepared a meat-wrapped veggie dish, which is like another main course.
なんてこった。暇つぶしで余計な料理をするなんて気が抜けてる。
暇つぶして作ってたんですか、先輩。
Oh, hey, Sakura.
でも誤解のないように説明すると、本当は惣菜を追加しようとしたんだ。それが気がついたら包丁を持ってた。いや、習慣っていうのは怖い。
でもいいと思いますよ。朝ごはんにしては豪勢ですけど、先輩の料理なら余らないと思います。
そうかな。いや、そういう問題じゃないだろう、これは。一つの空に二つの太陽はいらないんだ。どっちかにはご退場を願わなくちゃいけない。
先輩、せっかく作ったのに食べないんですか？
食べる。予定にはなかったけど、今日の昼は弁当にする。そうすれば余った方も無駄にはならないだろ。
うわ、先輩、今からお弁当を作るんですか？
ギリギリかな。まあ、俺一人分ぐらいなら飯もなんとか。
Hold up. I finally realized there's someone behind me.
おはようございます、先輩。今日もお邪魔しますね。
Sakura greets me with a smile. It's not unusual for Sakura to come into the kitchen at this time. She usually rings the doorbell and then comes in, but sometimes I'm too preoccupied to notice. Like today.
おはよう、さくら。朝飯の支度はできてるから、今で休んでていいぞ。お茶の用意してあるから。
I call out as I keep my eyes on the frying pan. A pot of hot water, a teapot, and some snacks sit on the table.
はい。今朝も完璧ですね、先輩。
I'm not sure what's got her so happy, but Sakura's a lot more animated than usual. And then, Sakura gleefully walks into the kitchen instead of to the table.
先輩、お弁当作るんですよね。
まあ、そういう流れになった。ちょうど弁当向きだし、もう少しおかずを用意しようかなって。
それなら私もいいですか？ちゃんと自分で作りますから。
いや、待った。 おかず俺のと同じのでいいなら分けられるけど。
はい、さっきから見ていて先輩の焼き物が食べたいなって思ってたんです。
了解。じゃあさくらはご飯炊いてくれ。2人分の弁当となると飯が足りなくなる。そっちに早炊きができる炊飯ジャーあるだろ。
はい、任されました。それじゃあお手伝いさせていただきますね。
I hear the sound of soft footsteps and an apron strings being tied.
先輩、ご飯は2合でいいですよね。
十分なんじゃないかな。
With unhurried yet efficient movements, Sakura joins me in the kitchen.
おはよう。今朝もいい匂いさせてて結構。
It's 6:30. Fujine comes in 30 minutes after Sakura arrived.
おはようございます先生。朝ごはんもうちょっと待ってくださいね。待つで、あれ、さくらちゃん、シローと一緒に朝ごはん作ってるの？いえ、朝食の支度は先輩が一人でやっつけちゃってました。今は先輩とお弁当を作ってるんです。
Sakura's voice is unusually lively. This isn't exactly an exciting task, so I'm not sure why she's in such a good mood.
そっか。そりゃ朝からご機嫌にもなるか。お料理とシロー、楽しいことだらけだもんね。よし、時間は余裕ないけどゆっくりしてていいわよ。
Fujine laughs as she heads to the table and pours herself some tea.
たく、朝から寝ぼけやがって。学校前に台所に立つことのどこが楽しいってんだ。
I put the frying pan on the back shelf. The side dishes are done, and all that's left is to pack them in the bento box.
悪いなさくら、部活前だっていうのに無駄な体力使わせて。昨日世話になった分、今朝はゆっくりしてもらおうと思ってたんだが。
そんなことありませんよ。藤村先生の言う通り、台所に立つのは楽しいです。
She beams. I know Sakura likes to cook, but making bento so early in the morning must be tough. On top of that, Sakura comes and makes dinner pretty often. Making her cook in the morning would take away whatever small bit of free time Sakura might have.
手伝ってくれるのは助かるけど、もう少し楽にしろよさくら。朝はもちっと眠ったり、放課後だって遊びに行くもんだろ。何も好き好んでうちの手伝いをしなくていいんだ。
はい、ですから楽にしています。今日も先輩に朝ごはんを作ってもらいました。お弁当のおかずだって先輩に分けてもらいましたし。
Sakura smiles warmly. It's been a year and a half since Sakura started coming to help me here, and she still never listens to a word I say.
それとこれは別だろう。さくらだって自分の生活があるんだから、俺や藤姉の世話にかまけてたら大変だぞ。俺を甘やかしてると、そのうち自分の好きなことができなくなるんだからな。
それも大丈夫です。私、趣味やお料理と弓だけですから。ちなみに将来の目標は先輩の味を超えることで、もうすぐ射程距離だったりします。
Sakura proudly puffs her chest. I like to argue, but there's no denying that she's almost better than me in the kitchen.
ですから気にしないでください。私、ここでお料理するのが嬉しいし、上手くなるのが楽しいんです。この楽しさを教えてくれた恩返しと、自分の実益を兼ねてお手伝いをしているのです。
それはつまり、日々俺の技術を盗んでいるということなのか、さくら。
はい、先輩のお手伝いをするだけで好きなことがめきめき上達しちゃいます。ですから覚悟しててくださいね。今に先輩に参ったって言ってもらうんですから。
Whoa. I don't believe it. Sakura said that with such conviction.
まったく、こんなことなら料理なんて教えなければよかった。うちに来るまでサラダ油の存在さえ知らなかったくせに、今じゃ虎視眈々と死の首を狙ってやがる。 なんだってそんなに目の敵にすんだよ、ほんと。飯なんて普通に作れればいいじゃんか。
そんなの目の敵にします。先輩の方が美味しいなんてダメなんですから。
What's that supposed to mean? I don't know what exactly about that is no good, but whatever. We need to set out breakfast.
よっと。
I take a look at the broiling celery fish. I stick my chopsticks in the fish's nicely colored belly to check how far it's cooked.
上出来かな。ほい、さくら、パス。先に食卓に持って行ってくれ。
はい、お疲れ様です、先輩。
I hand Sakura a plate with the fish. But then, Sakura suddenly stops in her tracks as if she remembered something really important.
さくら、どうした？忘れ物か？
Sakura may look like she's put together, but she can actually be really forgetful. It's not unusual for her to suddenly remember something out of the blue, just like this. But that doesn't seem to be the case this morning.
さくら。
Sakura doesn't respond. She stares dumbfounded at my hand, but she seems to be unaware of her dazed state.
先輩、その手の技、何ですか？
What a strange question.
は？
I pull my hand back.
あれ、ほんとだ。手の甲にあざができてる。おかしいな。ぶつけた覚えはないんだけど。
I'm not sure why, but a large bruise is forming on the back of my hand. Looks like it's a cut. It's forming a big welt. Pretty disgusting, if I say so myself. Sakura looks ill and she's fallen silent.
悪い、あとは任せた。湿布かなんか貼ってく。
I leave Sakura to take care of breakfast and head to the dojo. I might have hurt myself when I was sleeping, but either way I need to treat it. But for some reason, I can't get the image of Sakura being so awkward and distraught out of my head.
それじゃあ先に行ってますね。
さくら、本当にいいのか？体調が悪いなら部活ぐらい休んでいいんだぞ。
いえ、大丈夫です。ちょっと頭痛がするだけですから心配には及びません。体調が悪そうに見えるのは先輩の気のせいですよ。私、すごく元気です。
She explains with a smile, but it's obvious that she's just putting on a brave face.
すごく元気か。朝飯、一口も食べられなかったのにか？
She averts her eyes, looking uneasy. Sakura continues to look away and says,
失礼します。先輩の方こそ休んでください。
She leaves. The dining table is neatly cleared, but there's an entire set of dishes with breakfast for one person in the kitchen sink untouched.
まったく、いきなりどうしたんだよ、さくらのやつ。
Sakura was in high spirits this morning, but then she suddenly got all quiet when she saw my injury, and everything she did from then was one mistake after another. She overfilled her teacup, she drenched soy sauce over her omelet to the point that it turned black, she sat down to eat with her apron still on. In the end, she hardly took a bite of her breakfast, then headed off to school looking pale.
風邪でもひいたのかな、さくら。
I mumble as I finish cleaning up. Whatever it is, I've never seen Sakura act like that. I met Sakura 4 years ago in the summer, and it's been a year and a half since she started coming to my house to help with housework. In all that time, I've never seen Sakura look the way she did today. Fujine should be at the archery range, so I don't think there will be an issue there, but I should go and check on her sometime after school. Okay, let's skip that. Class has ended and it's time to go home. I can't wander around because I have work today. I shouldn't do anything at school. I should head straight to the neighboring town, but I'm worried about Sakura. Nothing will come from me worrying about her, but I should at least check to see if she's perked up. I walk through the first year's hall, which is on the 4th floor. There aren't any students walking down the hall, and there's only a handful of students hanging out around the classroom. They're either at their clubs or headed home.
失敗したな。 これじゃさくらも部活に行ってる。
Well, I've come this far. I might as well check Sakura's classroom, and after I see that nobody's there, I'll head to work.
どれ？
I peek into Class 1B. The classroom is tinted red from the light of the setting sun pouring in through the windows. It's silent, giving the impression nobody's inside. There doesn't seem to be anybody in the classroom. All the students have gone to their respective destinations, except for one lone shadow that remained inside the red-soaked classroom.
さくら。
I step into the crimson-tinted world and say her name.
先輩。
Her long hair is covering her face, but she looks even more weary than this morning.
どうしたんですか？うちのクラスに何か用事でも。
あ、いや、さくらのクラスに用事はない。単にさくらの様子が気になっただけだ。朝から体調悪っ。
Sakura's face grows, if possible, even more downcast. She's obviously not well.
さくら、気分が悪いなら帰らないか。交差点までなら遅れるから一緒に帰ろう。
いえ、いいです。私どこも悪くありません。いつも通り部活に出て終わったら先輩のところで夕飯をごちそうになるんです。悪くなんてないんです。だから気にしないでください。
She grabs her bag and starts walking so quickly it's almost as if she's trying to run away.
バカ、そんな顔で何言ってんだ。いいから部活は休め。だいたいな、そんなんで弓を引いても帰ってくるもんなんかないだろう。
I grab Sakura's hand as she tries to pass me. A loud thud echoes through the classroom. Sakura almost falls, even though I only tried grabbing her hand. I quickly pull Sakura's arm. As I tug Sakura so firmly, I learn she's surprisingly light.
びっくりした。さくら、本当に大丈夫か？足全然踏ん張り効いてないじゃないか。
Sakura averts her eyes apologetically. Honestly, what's gotten into her today?
とにかく部活は休みだ。俺もバイト休むから今日はおとなしく家に帰ろう。
Sakura doesn't respond, keeping quiet. She doesn't shake off my hand, nor does it look like she's going to listen to me.
どうしたんだよ、さくら。そんなんじゃ部活に出ても意味ないって分かってるだろ。
それは先輩の言う通りです。けど兄さんが呼んでるから。
She adds almost inaudibly. Damn. I never have any reply to that look. I hear the Mato family's circumstances are complicated, and I can't really put myself in the middle of Shinji and Sakura. No matter how much I consider Sakura my family, the people in the Mato household are her real family. As an outsider, my words will fall on deaf ears. Anything I said would just seem like unnecessary meddling.
部活には顔を出すだけか、さくら。
はい。私だって今は弓を引けないって分かってます。
そうか。要するにシンジの顔を立てるだけってことだな。
I pull out a chair and sit on it. Then I pull another chair from the neighboring desk.
先輩。
いいから座れ。部活に行くのはもう止めない。その代わりもうちょっと休んでいけ。シンジには俺から誘われて断るのに時間がかかったって言えばいい。
そんなこと言えません。そんなこと言ったら兄さんまた先輩に
シンジがちょっかい出してくるのはいつものことだよ。いいじゃんか。毎日会話のネタがあってあいつも楽だろ。それにこの話は嘘でも何でもない真っ白な真実なんだから後ろめたいこともない。
I gesture for Sakura to sit down. Sakura reluctantly sits on the chair.
よしよし。じゃあちょっと待っててくれ。生徒会室からお茶くすねてくるからな。俺が戻ってくるまで席を立つのは禁止だぞ。
先輩お 茶をくすねてくるって、そんなことしたら怒られるんじゃ。
先生に見つかったらな。何、この手のことには慣れてる。廊下でばったり会わない限り問題ないから。
できません。先輩が危ないことしてる時に休んでるなんてもってのほかです。先輩、私お茶なんていいですから。
だから危なくないって。いいから座ってろよ。教室で茶を飲むってのも一度ぐらいはいいもんだ。
I jump out into the hallway. The student council room isn't that far. I'll go get a whole tea set real quick to surprise Sakura. Time passes. Sakura and I both drink tea in the classroom, which seems ludicrous, but we look out the window as we have nothing better to do. The last rays of sunset filter in through the window, stinging my eyes a bit. Sakura looks toward the sunset, her expression vacant. I don't have much to say, so I follow Sakura and keep my mouth shut. Since there's no conversation, time passes slowly. Sakura's not generally all that talkative, and it's not unusual for her to just stare blankly ahead. She seems to be more at ease when she's alone. Come to think of it, Sakura prefers to be alone. It's not that she wants to be away from the hustle and bustle, so much as her seeming to want to be isolated from the people around her, and she often chooses to look outside rather than keeping her attention inside. Which is probably why she stayed alone in the classroom today. Sakura doesn't go out of her way to interact with people. Fujine and I are the exceptions. And if I weren't acquaintances with Shinji, Sakura wouldn't have had to interact with me at all, really. I sneak a glance at Sakura. 4 years ago, when Shinji introduced me to her, Sakura seemed more like a little girl. Before I knew it, she was my underclassman, and even started coming to my house to help with housework, and her childish appearance started to fade. Sakura has become beautiful. Well, she was pretty to begin with, but I guess that she's grown too pretty. On top of that, she's sensible and so gentle. With all those great qualities, it's no wonder so many people say she's a beauty on par with Rin Tosaka. But there's something I just don't get. Sakura is often alone. She doesn't seem to have any friends from the Kyudo club, and given that she was alone in the classroom after school, she may not have any friends in her class either. Now that I think about it, I only know the Sakura from the Kyudo club and the Sakura at my house. I don't know what Sakura does or how she acts when she's at school or the Mato family home. Just when I realize that, and as I continue to stare blankly at the reddened sky.
先輩、覚えてますか？
Sakura asks without taking her gaze from the window.
覚えてるかって何？
ずっと昔の話です。私がまだ先輩を知らなかった頃の話。
つまりさくらと知り合う前の話か？
はい、4年前、私が進学したばかりの頃です。まだ新しい学校に慣れてなくて、あてもなく廊下を歩いている時、私不思議なものを見たんですよ。あれは一体どういう経緯だったんでしょうね。もう放課後でグラウンドには陸上部の人もいないっていうのに、誰かが一人だけで走ってたんです。何をしてるのかなって見てみると、その人一人で走り高跳びをしてました。
So Sakura has this memory too, huh? She giggles. It must be an endearing memory to Sakura if that blissful smile is anything to go by.
真っ赤な夕焼けだったんです。校庭も廊下もみんな真っ赤で、そんな中でですね、一人でずっと走ってるんです。走って飛んで棒を落としてまた繰り返して、周りには誰もいなくて、その高さを越えられないって分かってるのに、頑張ればなんとかなるって問題じゃないんですよ。だってその棒、その人の身長よりずっと高かったんです。私から見ても無理だって分かるんだから、その人だってとっくに飛べないって分かってたと思うんです。
I understand the story, but I'm not sure what she's getting at. I don't think ruling solo practice after school is all that strange.
私その時良くない子だったんです。嫌なことがあって誰かに八つ当たりしたかった。失敗しちゃえ、諦めちゃえって。
Wow, Sakura.
その人がくじける瞬間が見たくなってずっと見てたんです。けどなかなか諦めてくれないんですよ。その人何度も何度も見ているこっちが怖くなるぐらいできっこないことを繰り返して全然泣き言を言わなかったんです。
はあ、そりゃよっぽど切羽詰まってたんじゃないのか。明日がレギュラー選定でその高さを飛べないと選ばれないとか。
いいえ、それは違います。だってその人陸上部でも何でもない人でしたから。
Huh. But why is Sakura laughing?
それでですね、私見ているうちに気がついたんです。その人別に何でもいいんだなって。今日たまたま自分のできないことにぶつかってならそうして日が落ちてその人は一人で片付けをして帰っちゃいました。すごく疲れてるのに何でもなかったみたいに平然とどっか行っちゃったんです。
わかんないやつだな。けどやめたってことは飛べたんだろそいつ。それ何メートルぐらいの高さだったんだ。
これがですね、結局飛べなかったんです。その人3時間もずーっと走ってどうやっても自分じゃ飛べないって納得しただけなんです。
うわ、落ちてないなその話。
はい、あんまりにもまっすぐすぎてその人の心配をしちゃったぐらいです。その人はきっとすごく頼りがいのある人なんです。けどそこが不安で寂しかった。
Sakura sounds so lonely as she says that, and I'm afraid she could be entirely swallowed up by the red classroom.
はあ、話は分かったけどそれが何だってんだよさくら。
いえ、わからないのならいいんです。私にはそう見えただけでその人自身にとっては日常茶飯事だったということで。
Sakura smiles warmly, seeming to have come out of her dark mood from earlier. Just then, I may be dense, but I realize who she's talking about. I actually don't remember it happening, but if it's a story from 4 years ago, it must have been a little after my old man died. I did some pretty reckless stuff every day, so I guess Sakura's story is just one instance of that.
ああ、さくら、つまりそれは。
はい、今私の前にいる上級生さんでした。
So Sakura wasn't the only one enamored by that sight, huh?
あの頃は小柄だったから同じ学年かなって勘違いしちゃったんです。
I really wish she wouldn't bring up my height when I was younger. Sure, I'm not that tall even now, but I still had a growth spurt.
そういうことです。私その時から先輩のことは知ってたんですよ。
そっか、それは初耳。
I look away, embarrassed that she saw me in such an awkward moment. And then,
私たち同じものを見てたんです。
Sakura gestures like she's praying, and I'm not sure I understand what she's getting at.
え？
I ask, feeling concerned. But at that moment, the familiar school bell sounds, as if to deny my curiosity.
鐘鳴っちまったな。
It's been 30 minutes since I had her stay in the classroom with me. The time is 4:30.
さすがにこれ以上の遅刻はやばいよな。片付けはやっとくから、さくらは先に行っていいぞ。体。
はい、おかげさまで元気いっぱいです。今日の夕飯は楽しみにしててください。
Sakura gets up. She doesn't seem like she's forcing it. She really does look better.
って悪いさくら、俺これからバイトだ。今日は遅くなるから無理してうちに来なくていい。
はい、わかりました。ならお夕飯だけ作って置いていきますね。
Sakura quickly bows and leaves.
いっか。
Fujine should be at my place, so she should be able to walk Sakura home when it's time. My livelihood's at stake too, so I better head over to work quickly. I ride the bus from school for 20 minutes. I arrive at Shinto, the neighboring town across the bridge.
なんだまだ5時前か。少し時間があるな。
There aren't many part-time jobs in the residential area of Miyama, but there are plenty in Shinto since it's a developing area. Our school allows students to hold part-time jobs, so I take on simple jobs. I prefer my jobs to be physical, and the tougher and shorter they are, the better. I get paid all while training my body, so it's like killing two birds with one stone. Today I'll work from 5 to 8 o'clock for a simple loading job. It may just be 3 hours of work, but it feels more like 6 hours since they make you work without a minute's rest. Which means I need to rest when I have the opportunity, even if it's just for 10 minutes. Walking around aimlessly would be a waste of energy, so I decide to rest at a park until it's time. This park is nestled between buildings, and it's like a giant plaza full of trees and shrubbery. A park should typically be filled with families and couples during weekends and holidays, but this one is deserted at this hour. In fairness, this place is always desolate, no matter the day or time.
相変わらずだな、ここは。
I sigh in exasperation. The area is unkept, and it's really pretty ugly compared to other places that are properly landscaped and maintained. As if the desolate location had set the mood, the wind itself blows cold and harsh. This place is the remnant of the great catastrophe that happened 10 years ago. The very place where I was saved from the brink of death.
なんで芝生とか植えないんだろう。いつまでもこのままってのはもったいない。
The area is quite large, so if they leveled it, there'd be plenty of space to work on the park. I sit down on a bench as I think. With nothing else to do, I stare out over the burned area to pass the time. I don't remember anything that happened here. The only thing I remember is that it was hot, and I couldn't breathe. And that some people died trying to save others.
どうしてそうなのかな。
One adult here died because they were trying to save a child from a burning house. Another person was offered all the available water to extinguish their raw, parched throat, while others in the same situation died. Someone here tried to flee the fire as fast as they could, but the people left behind died. And someone died here because they gave whatever it was that kept them alive to someone they didn't even know. I don't like thinking about that. Just thinking about people trying to help and becoming victims for their trouble makes me angry. Is it too much to ask for everyone to be saved and for them to get their happy ending afterward? All I want is to see people peacefully prevail. Why can't that happen?
それは難しい。シロの言っていることは誰も彼も救うということだからね。
That was Kiritsugu's response to the question when a very young me asked it. As a child, I obviously refused to accept that idea. But you saved me, Kiritsugu. I knew you were a magician and you could do anything. I knew you were a champion of justice who wouldn't let anyone suffer, and you did it without asking for any reward. That's why I've always believed you managed to save everyone back then. In response to me shouting this at him, Kiritsugu looked more troubled than I'd ever seen him, and said something I remember to this day.
シロ、誰かを救うということは誰かを助けないということなんだ。いいかい？正義の味方に助けられるのはね、正義の味方が助けたものだけなんだよ。当たり前のことだけど、これが正義の味方の定義なんだ。
Yeah, I get that. And now that it's been pointed out, it seems so obvious. Imagine if there was a burglar and some hostages, and the burglar intends to kill the hostages. Under normal circumstances, a majority of the hostages would probably die. But if by some miracle all the hostages were saved, there's someone who didn't get saved. The burglar, of course, since saving the hostages was done at the cost of his life. The people the Champion of Justice saves are only those whom the Champion of Justice deems to save. That's why saving everyone is impossible. Even God can't do that. Especially if it's a
それが天
natural
才ならなお
disaster.
さらだ。誰であろうと全てを助けるなんてできなかった。
The fire 10 years ago was like that. As someone who was miraculously saved from the incident, it wasn't my place to say anything at that point.
けど嫌だ。
I don't want anything like that. I don't like the idea that there's a limitation to who can be saved. No matter how impossible it may be, I need to reach out to help. I can't stand to see people around me die, like back then. If the person I am now had been there 10 years ago, I would have thrown myself into the fire.
そのまま無駄死にしてたろうな。間違いなく。
That would have happened for sure. Jeez, I can't even fantasize in my head.
と、しまった。ぼんやりしてたら5時になっちまった。
A bell in the distance rings, chiming 5 o'clock. I get up from the bench and hurry to my part-time job. By the time I'm done working, the sun has long since set. It's a little before 8 o'clock. I finished about 10 minutes earlier because I kinda overworked myself. Maybe it's because I stopped by that park before work. That might have motivated me to push myself harder. At the train station, the night is just getting started. There are a bunch of people milling about, and an endless stream of cars on the road.
藤根にお土産はいいか。
I walk along the path as I gaze up at a lighted building. It's the biggest building in Shinto, so I can't see all the way to the top. As I gaze at the building, enjoying the nighttime scenery, I think I see something bizarre.
なんだ今の。
I stop and try to look at the very top. I squint, trying to bring what I see into focus, but it's like staring at grains of rice. It looks like someone I know. But I can't think why this girl I know would have a reason to be there. It doesn't seem like she's going to do anything up there. But she's just standing there looking down at the city as the wind ruffles her hair. She doesn't seem to notice me down below. Actually, there's no way she could see me. Even my near-perfect vision, enhanced with magecraft, can barely distinguish what's up there. I'm able to tell she's up there because she's isolated, but there's no way she would be able to pick me out of a crowd on the ground. She's just looking down at the town. It seems like she's looking for something. I can almost feel her sharp gaze even at this distance. I forget how long it's been, but I continue to look up at the girl standing in the void. She stands at the top of a high tower. She's like a magician looking down at the surface world with a bright moon shining behind her. And then, she disappears, apparently done with whatever brought her up there. The rooftop stands empty, and the scenery returns back to nothing more than the beautiful night sky.
今の遠坂だったのかな。
I can't be sure, but I'm probably right about who it was. At least. There aren't many girls I know who stand out like her, and besides, I'm not so out of it if I'd fail to notice a girl I secretly admire.
そうか。
It's just,
にしても
Tosaka sure is a weird way of spending her time. I get back to Miyama. Unlike Shinto, it's quiet here, as if it were already the middle of the night.
さくら大丈夫かな。
She seemed to be feeling okay, but I feel bad thinking I made her push herself again because she went to my place to make dinner.
ちょっと様子見てくるか。
Going to her house may not accomplish anything, but I'd rather have the reassurance than do nothing at all. There's nothing different about the Mato house. There's no sign of the strange foreigner Sakura was talking about earlier, and the lights are only on in Sakura and Shinji's rooms, as usual. Hold on a minute. Why was the other light on last night, then? Was there someone other than Sakura and Shinji in the Mato house?
もし何かこの家に用があるのかね。
I whirl around. In the darkness of night, I see a person standing there, almost hidden among the chirping insects. He's an old man, and I don't recognize him. He must be really old, but his sharp eyes and intimidating presence are are out of all disproportion with that tiny old body. The sheer amount of time he's lived seems to lend him a certain dignity, and I find myself petrified.
どうした若いの？なぜ答えん？答えねばこちらで決めつけてしまうぞ。うん。ではさくらが言っておった不審なよそ者がお前さんだ。ということでよいかな？
Sakura. Does that mean this man is...
参ったの。孫の頼みだ。見過ごしておくわけにもいくまい。見ず知らずのお前さんには申し訳ないが、少し痛い目にあってもらわねばならん。念のため聞いておくが、潔く香木の厄介になる気はないか？
The strange old man seems pleasantly cheerful despite the dark subject matter. There's no doubt about it. It may be the first time I've ever seen him, but this man is Sakura's...
いや違います。俺はシンジの同級生でさくらとは知り合いで、散歩がてらに様子を見に来たエミヤシロというものです。
ああ、そうか。シンジとさくらの知り合いか。それは邪魔をしたな。どれ、二人を呼んでこよう。それとも夕飯を馳走されるかね？
いえ、ちょっと寄っただけですからすぐ帰ります。それよりおじいさん、さくらはもうちゃんと帰ってきてますか？
造見じゃ。
The old man murmurs something I don't quite catch. He sounds irritated.
魔頭造見。お前さんが名乗ったというのに、わしが名乗らんままではおかしかろう。
Zoken Mato turns toward the house once he finishes speaking. He shows that he has no interest in me. He's so intimidating, I can't even manage to get a word out as I watch him go. But then...
さくらならば帰ってきておる。それよりエミヤシロ。アインツベルンの娘は双剣かね？
アインツ、何ですか？
とぼけるでない。アインツベルンの娘がエミヤを訪ねるは通り、こたびの座の出来はどうかと問うておる。
Huh? Now I really don't understand. Sorry, Sakura. Your grandpa's a little crazy.
どうやら本当に知らんらしいな、これは。
Zoken sighs. For some reason, I feel bad for him, given how disappointed he looks.
よくわかりませんけど、すみません。
いやいや、お主が気に病むことはない。わしの勘違いじゃ。つまらぬことを言ってすまなかった。そら、孫たちに用があるのなら遠慮することはない。年寄りは隠居しておるでな。気兼ねなく尋ねるがよい。
いや、今日は本当に寄っただけです。けど、おじいさん、この家に住んでいるんですか？
住んでおるとも。もっとも見ての通りの老体でな。日がな一日奥座敷でくたびれておる。
Is that so? I've been inside the Mato house numerous times until last year, but I never got the sense anyone else was living in that house other than Shinji and Sakura.
では失礼するぞ、エミヤシロウ君。うちの孫たちとよくしてやってくれ。
Despite his apparent age, he walks briskly away. The Mato house appears unchanged, but the sound of chirping bugs suddenly fades. That's strange. Another day ends. I finish yet another busy dinner. After seeing off Fujine, I take a bath. Afterward, I go to the storehouse for my daily training. I complete my usual routine and go to sleep. It's 1 in the morning. The day ends peacefully, without incident. Okay, so we could skip the... I think we could just skip all of day 3, potentially? Yeah, I think we were able to skip all of day 3, because I think it's the same stuff. Or not. Soon after Fujine leaves, I lock up and Sakura and I leave as well.
さくら、なんだよ、元気がないな。もしかしてまた体調が悪くなったのか？
いえ、体の調子はいいです。先輩の方こそ大事はありませんか？今朝もどこか気分が悪そうでしたし、昨日の傷も悪化してるかもしれません。
Yesterday's injury. Oh, the bruise on my left hand.
いや、あざはあれっきりだけどな。ただの腫れだからしばらくすれば治るだろう。
Sakura continues to stare at me, looking concerned.
いや、本当に大丈夫だって。大したことないぞ、本当。なんだよ、昨日からおかしいぞ、さくら。こんなのただのあざだろ？それとも何か？俺が寝てる間にさくらが踏んづけてできたあざだとか。
先輩、私そんなに重くありません。私は
ただその
間違いだったらいいって。
Huh? I don't get what Sakura is saying. Sakura may be quiet, but she generally speaks her mind. It's not like her to beat around the bush so much.
先輩、お願いがあるんですけど、いいです。
ああ、できる範囲でなら聞くけど、なんだ？
はい、私明日の夜までお手伝いに来られないんです。その間できるだけ家の中にいてもらえませんか？
それ、日曜のバイトは休めってことか？
はい、できる限り家にいてほしいんです。私の用事が終わればお手伝いに来ますから。
まあ1日ぐらい休んでもいいか。よし、じゃあ休日は家でのんびりしてる。それでいいか、さくら。
はい、そうしてもらえると助かります。
A bit of relaxation actually doesn't sound so bad. I've been working non-stop recently, so I have some extra funds right now. Maybe I'll clean out all the junk this weekend. Okay, so that one was different, but we can skip the rest of these. Yeah, Saber vs. Lancer. Master Lecture, we can skip that. We can skip that. We fight. We can skip that. Strongest enemy we can skip. And then help Saber. We can skip this. And I believe... Yeah, because we didn't get an interlude. 3-0. That's new. Because I don't think we got an interlude the first time we did. Yup, yeah, that's new. There's a slithering sound. It's hard to determine whether the sound is a cry, something being dragged, or something festering. The sound represented everything. Here there are only rotting things. The stone walls are as brittle as a decaying tree. The air smells sweet like honey. The creatures crawling on the ground are decomposing like ripe fruit, and even the time that passes in this space is rotten, meaningless. Everything here is worn out. The darkness is a graveyard for things that were never mourned on Earth, the end of vindictive bloodlines.
7人揃ったようだな。
The largest gangrenous mass wriggles at the center of darkness. The sound of insects taints the air, along with a rancid, unpleasant stench. The master of this basement is rotten and decayed, yet alive, and it is surrounded by otherworldly worms. The insects that crawl up from the feet suck on its ankles, and once their suckers reach their host's flesh and bone, they continue to slowly burrow in to reach nerves. There are hundreds, nay, more than 200 wriggling bugs. Any creature unlucky enough to be thrown onto this writhing carpet would die in moments. The insects would burrow in and devour its insides, leaving flesh and bones intact, but taking over.
足りぬ。この虫どもも時期替え時か。
Yet its body does not break down. Rather, whenever the insects invade its body through the ankle, its body takes one step closer to completion. It is not being devoured by the insects. The massive insects that live in the basement are the ones being consumed, existing solely to be eaten by it. There should be enough here to last 100 years. That guarantees it at least that much time as it consumes these insects to live.
まだ先はある。こたびが最後というわけでもない。万全でなければ静観に徹するべきなのだが。
It twists its mouth in disapproval. The situation is in no way optimal. The battle is about to start once again, less than 10 years after the last. The priest who is tasked with overseeing this ritual possesses 2 servants, and the servant rooted in Ryudo Temple has in turn summoned their own servant. These conditions are not promising. A complete grail simply will not be forged from such an unstable battle. The gates may open, but its contents will not be reachable.
ならば静観するべきなのだが、困ったことに持ち駒だけは適しておる。
The conditions to fight over the Holy Grail are abysmal. However, the thing that was painstakingly created is in its ideal form. If released, it would surely reach it. As long as the proper steps are taken, the Holy Grail should be attainable. After all, contents of the Holy Grail have been implanted inside them. For 10 years, fragments of the Holy Grail have spread into and throughout their nerves. It is only natural for things originating from the same source to be attracted to one another.
わしには次があるが、あれはそう長く持つまい。対バンとしてもらい受けたものだが、よもやあれほどの出来になろうとはの。
The thing was an experiment, but now it is perfectly adapted to its purpose. It was supposed to be disposed of, but it ought to be used if it proves useful. In either case, the plan is to dispose of it anyway. The thing is bound to be discarded, whether it loses in battle, is destroyed, or disabled.
となると問題は一つ。あれをどうやってその気にさせてやるかだが。
For some reason, the compatible masterpiece refuses to fight. One approach would be taking over its mind, but it has put up a solid mental defense. Well, that is why I wanted a vessel that possesses strong magic circuits. It is only logical for something talented to be hardy in the face of poison trying to invade it. Then shall the obedient doll or the outstanding pupil be chosen? If the latter, brainwashing would be out of the question.
一度でよい。わずかな隙間さえ開けば、あとは自ら聖杯を求めるのであろうが。さて。
Creating that small opening is the difficult part. That thing is not so weak as to be broken by coercion. If it could break easily, it would have broken 11 years ago. It has erected quite the fortress to defend itself, but it simply has no blade with which to fight back. If it is to break, it must be from within. Its futile emotions should be the key to transforming it.
来たか。さて、では隙間を作ってやるとするか。
Descending footsteps echo in the darkness. The person walks in towards the center of the decaying insects. The thing asks a predictable question. Do all masters have to be killed? Of course there is no need to answer. All masters must die. All servants must be seized. That is the ethos writhing within this basement. But that thought is pushed aside.
お前がそういうのであれば仕方あるまい。では今回も傍観に徹しよう。
It utters. It emits a sigh of relief, and the mood softens. After the thing indicates that it has no intention to fight by gently smiling.
しかしそうなると少しばかり尺だの。今回のよりしろの中では、キャツの娘はなかなかによくできておる。勝者が出るとすれば、おそらくはあやつである。
It murmurs in a disappointed tone. The air feels slack once again. Faint disappointment flickers like an ember in the basement. The thing that has resisted fighting this entire time suddenly shows signs of reconsidering after hearing its single statement. The thing is wavering. A slight crack. The thing does not even notice, but now a slight unintended opening cracks their defenses. It laughs. Swarmed by worms and still rotting, it still maintains its human shape as it laughs. Well, that was creepy as fuck. I mean, I think I have a good idea of who was being talked about there. Alright. I think I'm going to leave that in, because, you know, that was an actual different intro. That was the Heaven's Feel intro from the movies, I think. So, I'll keep that in. I'm just going to mute it, though, because I don't want to get copyright claimed again. So, I guess I'll end this first episode of Heaven's Feel off here, since we're officially on the path now. And I will see you all in the next episode when we actually get started on this. So, I'll see you all then. Bye!